Dr. Joan Pastor. I want to welcome you to another video in our series on learning disabilities, adult attention deficit disorder, adult Asperger's, and other issues related to teenagers and adults that might be impacting academics and workplace performance. Today I want to talk about ADD and LD. One of the things that people do not realize is that there is a high correlation between attention deficit disorder and learning disabilities. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that when I test somebody for attention deficit disorder, there's a very strong likelihood that they might also have a learning disability, and vice versa. If I test somebody for learning disabilities, which could be for math, it could be for reading, it could be for listening, it could be for oral communications, it could be for memory and being able to retain information, there's also a chance that they might have attention deficit disorder. Now, they don't always go together, but they could. There's also a lot of confusion because a person can have attention deficit disorder on what I call one sensory modality, but not on another. What do I mean by that? Well, for example, there's a very sophisticated test that I give. And in this test that's taken on a computer, we actually give it in several different formats. And there's a lot of information that I learn about you, not just whether or not you have attention deficit disorder, but also what type, and whether or not you have ADD in your visual arena, your visual sensory modality, because you may have it there, but you might not have attention deficit disorder when it comes to sound and listening and hearing words. Or you actually might have it the other way around. You might have attention deficit disorder when it comes to audio information that's coming in, okay? But not in things that you see. If you're looking at visually, you're able to focus and concentrate, and it grabs your attention and retains your focus with no difficulty at all. So, it is important, first of all, when you test for attention deficit disorder, to be able to distinguish whether it's on one or both of those sensory modalities. In addition, there are certain types of learning disabilities that might look like it could be attention deficit disorder, but it's not. For example, we're finding, we're finding more and more that many times a person that has, let's say for example, a reading disorder, that they might actually have this reading disorder because, believe it or not, when they look at the words, if they're not able to retain the information, even for a moment, not long enough, they can actually read a whole sentence, but by the time they get to the end of the sentence, they might have already forgotten the words in the beginning of the sentence. That is not really a reading disorder. That is actually a memory processing disorder. And as you can imagine, that would not only make it harder for the person to read, but it also makes it harder for them to retain the information, and it would become so frustrating that the person begins to become distracted. You know, their attention begins to wander off. But does this mean that they have attention deficit disorder? Absolutely not. They might be fine when it comes to that part of the brain that speaks to attention deficits. On the other hand, they're having problems in another part of the brain that speaks to memory and the processing of information when it comes into our brain. So, that is why testing is so important with a properly trained and licensed psychologist who can make the distinction between what is attention deficit disorder, what is a learning disability, what is a memory disorder, which is also called information processing disorder, or anything else. Thank you. For more information, please contact our office about our testing at the Healthy Brain and Body Center of Beverly Hills. The website address is www.healthybrainandbodybh.com, and our phone number is 310-892-0210.